ExtraMile Arena to take on the Boise State Broncos. Leonard Berry alongside Heather Berry once again. And Heather mentioned this before. Ugly game on Wednesday. Broncos looking to bounce back. Rams looking for their first sweep since 2016 over Boise State.
Definitely the second series of this game. Both teams during warm-ups look great. Shots are going in, at least during warm-ups, so we're going to see how today's game goes.
And you can see on your screen the stats from Wednesday. The shots did not fall. In fact, we had a 10-point quarter split between the two teams in the second. The worst quarter in Bronco sports history, or Bronco women's basketball history, rather. And a team that's been so good at shooting threes this season can't do it. They came into the game shooting just 29%, 17% on Wednesday, Heather.
It was not a shooting night for the Broncos, as you can see here on the stats, not only from the three-point line, but from the floor. Lids on the baskets. As you can see, Colorado State didn't have a great shooting night either, although they hit from the three-point line. Tonight or this afternoon will be a day where both teams are looking to try to get that lid off that basket.
There were a couple of players for both teams that played decently. On the Broncos side, it was Mallory McGuire, but she got into foul trouble very early, Heather, and that's exactly what the Rams wanted. She has to avoid those early fouls today.
She has to avoid those fouls, is right. She got 2 early fouls in that first quarter. We didn't see much of her in the second quarter. Came in after halftime, and she brought it. She got a couple baskets and got the Broncos going a little bit in foul trouble again, and they're going to look to her today to stay on the floor to help the Broncos get up on the Rams.
She was easily the best player on the floor for Boise State when she was on it, but as we mentioned, she fouled out in just 16 minutes of action. And meanwhile, on the other side, Tori Williams has been all the rage in the Mountain West this season, but it was the freshman Ellie Bonney pouring in a career-high 19 points, getting to the basket, driving, as you mentioned, a lot on Wednesday, and Bonney simply could not be stopped on her way to the basket.
Bonney had a great game. She is versatile all across the floor. She liked to drive, as you saw here. She hit those jumpers. She was a terror, and the Broncos had a hard time trying to stop her.
Well, the Mountain West is no stranger to good freshmen. Haley and Hannah Cavender last year lit it up. This season, it's the Rams freshman pair. Callie Clark and Ellie Bonney are doing their thing. They had 29 combined points and 17 rebounds in the game. We'll see what happens here this afternoon. Broncos and Rams is coming up next right here on the Mountain West Network. We will see you on the other side. Welcome back to ExtraMile Arena. Friday afternoon basketball. Broncos trying to stop their first 4-game slide in 5 years, Heather. They have not lost 5 games since the 2015-16 season, and that's the starting 5 that's going to try to accomplish that task here today.
The Broncos are a team and a tradition that is winning, and this is definitely a different past couple weeks for the Broncos, and I know they're excited to see what happens today as we're here to get set with the tip-off. So both the Rams and the Broncos are looking to make history either way.
Yeah, the Rams looking to sweep the Broncos for the first time since that 2016 season. And funnily enough, the Broncos started their 4-game slide back in 15-16 with a loss to the Rams. As you see their starting 5, it is the same starting 5 from Wednesday, just like Boise State and Ellie Bonney with the career-high 19 points as a true freshman. As the ref loses the ball there on the dribble. And finally, the tip is underway, and just like Wednesday, McGuire wins it, and the Broncos will start. Lavelle finds Mark, near side corner. Broncos in the all-orange today. Entry to McGuire, puts it up. First shot of the game is a miss. The Rams will get their first attempt. Bonney and Hoffschild with a big screen there from Clark, who slips through 2, can't get it to go, and McGuire pulls down the miss. Lavelle shooting this time, and again, off iron. It's been a struggle for her in the middle of the season. And DeVos gets the first 2 points of the game.
It's a nice push by the Rams to get the first baskets of this contest.
Broncos lost big in game one, 71-51. On the back of some very poor shooting. But they have been much better in games two this season. In fact, point differential is 23 between game one and game two, and that pass was never going to make it to Lavelle from narrow. Gives Williams a wide open three, and she bricks it off back iron. Almost 2 minutes gone by, and the Broncos with no points. And nearly another turnover.
The Rams are doing a great job at scouting the Boise State Bronco team. As you can see, they're sagging off on people, double teaming Mallory. Same as what we saw in the first game.
Rams want anyone else to beat them other than Jade and Mallory. Worked for him in game one. So far working. Clark left alone. And she leaves the three ball short. We also have to mention that both of these teams are tops of the conference in defense as well. Broncos had the best scoring defense coming into Wednesday's games. Rams were right behind them. Ryan Williams' teams are always well coached, head coach of the Rams. Past 8 seasons, they've been either first or second in scoring defense at the end of the season, as Muse finally gets the first Bronco shot to fall.
Muse has hit a few of those this season right there at the free throw extended. It's great for post players to have range, so other teams have a hard time guarding them.
DeVos, too easy, draws the double and dishes it off to Callie Clark. And if you leave a 6'3" freshman alone on one side of the basket, she's going to score on you. Good closeout there from DeVos. And that'll be a double dribble from McGuire, and the Ram bench already into this game.
They are bringing the energy today. Excited for that double team, or that turnover from Mallory. As you can see, the help side that came over when Mallory started to dribble to the basket.
4-2 our score. Williams wants 3, can't get it. And DeVos missed the board as Abby Muse pulls down the defensive rebound for Boise State. Still the only player to score so far for the Broncos. Can Narrow get on the score sheet? No, she cannot. Tori Williams brings it the other way. Here's DeVos, great move. Right around.
We talked about that earlier today. She is a shooter driver. Right there, she fake shot, dribble, nice easy layup for her.
Scored at all 3 levels on Wednesday. Finishing with 11 points, and here she's going to get 2 more free ones courtesy of the turnover. Coach Presnell wants a timeout, and the Rams are on top by 6. 5:51 to play here in the first, and the Rams are running. DeVos already with 6 points, a perfect 3 for 3 from the field, and she's making it look much too easy at the moment.
She is. The Rams have had a great start to this game. Coach Presnell was not happy with that timeout early. Get over there, get the Broncos reconnected to try to keep them in the game so it doesn't get out of hand like it did on Wednesday.
The Rams went on a run in Wednesday's game as we take a look at DeVos getting to the basket. But the Broncos answered back in the first. Rams went on a 12-0 run in that game, and then Boise State answered back with a 10-0 run. But yet again, we're seeing the Broncos just looking lifeless early.
Yeah, as we talked last broadcast too, the Broncos are a very young team. We are halfway through the season. We are during COVID. There's a lot of factors in this, and this is the time during the season when teams are going to either make or break. And as you can see, Colorado does have freshmen, but they also have some seniority on their team, and I think that's what's connecting them to be able to get in games like this. And the Broncos it's going to take some time and experience for them to get to that point during the season.
Yeah, the roster construction is certainly a little different between both sides, as we've mentioned many times this season. 10 freshmen on the Boise State team, along with a Pac-12 transfer in Mallory McGuire. Colorado State doesn't have as many freshmen. They do play 2 freshmen, as Bonnie and Clark have been outstanding, just as some of the Boise State freshmen, but they also have their own Pac-12 transfer in Tori Williams. Boise native, graduated from Centennial High School, went to play at Utah for 1 season. They also have McKenna Hoffschild, who runs the point guard most of the time. She's a Seton Hall transfer. So they do have a couple of big-time transfers from good basketball schools. And Rachel Bowers getting into the game here. We haven't seen her for 3 games, nursing a little rolled ankle for a while. But we'll see if she can make a difference down low for Boise State. Here's Lavelle, wants to get in around Williams. Gets her own miss, goes up and draws the foul.
That's what we need to see from Jade. We talked about it last game. I would like to see her get to the basket more often. Get in, get close, get the foul, get the easy buckets from the stripe.
Jade makes the first. And the one thing about Lavelle is she could take any single player in this conference off the dribble. And they're so afraid, most teams, most players are so afraid of that they sag off, and she settles for the mid-range jumper. And when she's not converting, it makes it a tough time for her. Here's Hoffschild. She's also an expert at breaking defenders down, but this time the pass skips out of bounds, looking for Williams in the corner. Hoffschild, 84 assists coming into today's game, good enough for 3rd in the nation. Rams do a good job there of guarding the pick and pop with McGuire. And again, DeVos steps out, hand in the face.
The Rams don't want Mallory to get a shot off anywhere on the floor, as you can see them guarding her at that 3-point line, which normally you wouldn't guard. Big post out there. Mallory can hit it out there. They don't want her to score.
Mallory was the best and most efficient scorer for the Broncos as Reagan Reed knocks down a shot in Wednesday's loss. McGuire had 7 on 3 of 4 shooting. Both Narrow and Lavelle outscored her, but did it on many more shot attempts as Reed now picks up a steal. Fast break. Bounce pass, Lavelle, stolen away. Great defense by Williams, and Bonnie also got back into the play.
It's a great push by the Broncos and even better defense by the Rams.
Here's Hoffschild spinning around, wants to get it out. Williams jacks up a 3, and she has been struggling in this series from deep. Murphy can't get it. Big board there by Rachel Bowers, putting her body in the right spot. Lavelle again getting in, this time no call. We do have a call, just a very late whistle.
Again, Jade driving it to the basket. As you can see here, what everyone likes to see from Jade is she's gonna break you down. And again, she's going to the stripe to earn another 2.
That foul's on Carly Murphy. We'll see if the Broncos continue with getting to the basket. Certainly working here early to get to the line. It worked at the end of the game in spurts on Wednesday as well, but then the Broncos got down by so much that they had to abandon it.
And just like that, Broncos are within 1.
And Osley will check in. 4 minutes to play here in the first. Murphy got in the way there, but a nice backdoor cut to Farkas. This is Bon Aarons, who shot it very well on Wednesday. She was 3 of 4 and 2 for 3 from deep, but misses her first shot attempt here. And Reagan Reed with her second turnover to the game there, trying to get it to Bowers. Murphy let all alone. And a communication breakdown between Lalott and Bowers.
And great communication between both posts on the Rams team. Got an easy basket.
Bowers, her first shot attempt, no good. And Hoffschild will just get a fingertip on it to save her from going out of bounds. More pick and roll, clattered by Lalott, but it doesn't matter. Hoffschild gets it to drop, and she'll go to the line.
That is a nice basket by Hoffschild. getting the and one play.
Player full of grit, just 5'5", but fearless to go down into the painted area. And she makes it a three-point play, the lead back up to 6 for the Rams. Kimora Sykes trying going around DeVos. Bowers gets back just in time to stop a free basket for Murphy.
Nice hustle there by Rachel.
Bowers, as we mentioned, missed the past 3 games as Mallory McGuire checks back in. Hofschild feeling it off the dribble. Won't go, and McGuire will get it. The Rams just suffocating on defense. Finally, they get the ball down low to McGuire, but then Murphy's there and DeVos on the other side as well.
Anytime Mallory touches the ball, 2 Rams players are right on her.
Murphy will step out and knock down an 18-footer. The Post continuing to get dominated here in this game, as DeVos has 6, Murphy has 4, and Osley can't connect.
That's a shot Osley will hit and is in the game to hit as Gordy puts her in to try to see if she can bring a spark to this team.
Under 2 to play in the first. DeVos getting in and traveling. So good defense there by the Broncos, not allowing her a free path to the basket. But the Broncos, again, cannot shoot the basketball against the Rams. 2 of 12 to open this game.
Not a great start shooting-wise for the Broncos here.
One time it's a triple team for McGuire. She'll find the open man, but Sykes just can't get it to go. And Hochschild will pull up off the dribble and knock down another mid-range. Back-to-back mid-range buckets for the Rams. Boise State simply has to find someone to carry the load. Reagan Reed missing there. Hochschild to the basket, up and in, 12-point lead, a minute to play in the first.
Hochschild has come out to play today. She's doing it from the point guard position, not only driving it to the basket, but dishing it to find her teammates.
Hochschild had a career-high 24 points at UNLV on January 9th. McGuire will finally get somewhat of an open shot, but even that was well defended. Rams looking to add to their lead. As Bon Aaron's 3-ball, of course it goes down, 22-7.
There has definitely been a swing of momentum in this game. Broncos were down by 1, and now not even close again.
Narrow to the basket, a breakdown, and finally someone gets one to drop for Boise State. Hochschild throws it up, no call. And that's how the quarter ends, 22-9. Broncos getting boat raced early in this one, but Narrow getting a bucket at the end to make it 9-22. Welcome back to Extra Mile Arena. 22-9 is our score, and McKenna Hochschild, who's an assist wizard this season, as you can see her court vision there. Also fantastic scorer, leading the team with 7 points, and the Rams ran away with that final couple minutes there in the first.
Hochschild has been a great leader for this game. She has come to play. She's not only done it going to the basket, but she's also helped her teammates find the open buckets.
She's on the bench at the moment as Bengasu Alpir will run the 1 in this second unit. Although it's hard to say that the Rams' second unit is a second unit They compete with a lot of first-team units in the league when they're doing stuff like that. That, again, is Jamie Von Ahrens creating her own shot with the pump fake.
This Colorado team is very well spaced out with who can score on each night, as they have right now 4 players that average double figures.
Christina Gill gets a 3-ball to drop. She didn't score in the game on Wednesday. And also, of note, with that 3-ball, the Broncos have now scored more points in this second quarter than they did all of Wednesday, with 1 shot falling.
Wednesday was a tough one for the Broncos. Set many records that many would not want to set.
Worst quarter in women's basketball history. Of course, women's basketball only went to the quarters about 6 years ago, as they previously played 2 halves. Very quiet whistle there, but we do have a foul. And the Broncos have never scored less than 5 1/4 until Wednesday. Thanks to our SID, Craig Lawson, for giving us that information. So we have a foul against the Broncos there and against Gill. This is Von Ahrens again. Going in, Bowers trying to draw the charge. But that means Williams is wide open for 3. And a shot you would expect her to hit. She has not been on one this week. And last touched by Bowers, another Bronco turnover.
It's a nice look down inside. I like that they're looking at the post inside, trying to get Rachel back into this, as she's missed a couple games. As you can see there, just fumbled it. Colorado State did get their hand on it.
15 points, the lead for CSU. DeVos looking like a lot of contact. Ryan Williams wants the call, but the Rams aren't going to get it. Lavelle guarded by Williams. Pretty move, and again, can't finish. Now McGuire wants it. That won't go either.
Both great shots by Jade and Mallory. Those are shots they're going to get. Just haven't seen it in the last couple games.
It's been a rough patch for Boise State. Here's Bonnie going in, creating a lot of contact, and we got a blocking foul. Question is, who is it against? We're going to call it on Gill. Lavelle and Gill were both there. The Rams are going to need 20 seconds on the shot clock. Hochschild finds DeVos, who took a step before she put it on the floor.
DeVos got a little excited there. She saw the baseline open and took 1 too many steps before she put the ball down.
Broncos forced to close out on DeVos because she certainly can shoot that corner 3. And it opens up a pass to the basket for her. She couldn't take advantage of. Broncos going small here. This is not a lineup we've seen often this season. Narrow, Muse, Mark, Lavelle, and that is a shot deflection by DeVos. Hochschild spinning on Gill. Has a pass. Williams this time connects.
What a pretty play right there by the Colorado Rams. Drive middle, pull the defender, kick it out. 3 by Williams.
First shot of the game that goes down for Williams. And again, Lavelle gets to the basket. This time she scores. But it's still 16 points to lead in favor of Colorado State and the green and gold. Here's DeVos, crossover dribble. Nearly had something there, but she traveled yet again.
DeVos not happy with that travel call, as we'll see here. Yeah, I'd say it was a travel. 1 too many steps. She moved her pivot foot.
Mark steaming in. Way too much power off the glass, but Abby Muse out battles the other freshman in Callie Clark for the 2 points. Jump pass from Hochschild. Normally a little dangerous, but when you have the passing talents of Hofschild, you can make it work. That one goes to Clark. Muse with the defense and a foul. And Callie Clark will head to the free throw line.
Nice effort there by Callie Clark, not giving up on that play. She's headed to the line for 2.
Clark knocks down the first. She had a couple of trips to the line in Wednesday's win, both times completing 3-point plays. And here she will head to the bench after making both of her free throws in favor of Carly Murphy. Here's Gill trying to split the double team. Muse again, great offensive rebound and saves it to Mark. Abby Muse calling for it, but Lavelle just steps through.
Nice hustle on that play by a couple Broncos, and Jade finishes it with the hustle to the basket.
Muse certainly helping the Broncos at the moment with her play on the glass, as Lavelle picks up her first foul of the game.
Little hand push off there. That'll get called every time.
So that'll send Ellie Bonney. Rather, it'll be an out-of-bounds play. Thought they were going to call a shooting foul there. Hofschild floater. Nice look, but doesn't go. And now Lavelle try to break Williams down to the basket again. This time fades, spins, and the shot doesn't drop.
Those are the shots Jade needs to keep taking. She will hit those. She's hit them all season.
Murphy trying to break down Muse, and indeed does, scoring in the paint again.
Colorado State has great post players who are versatile on the inside and the outside, and they have brought it today.
Lavelle mishandles the pass. I think it's fair to say that Colorado State is the toughest team to match up with in the conference, as an acrobatic layup from Makalova there, hanging and hitting as she flew through the air.
As you were saying, Colorado State is a team that's hard to match up to. They can do it from all different areas. They're shooters, they're drivers, their posts can shoot, they can drive. And for some teams that have just select post players or just players that can shoot, it always makes for a hard matchup.
Lavelle goes up, scores again. Rams are going to have to find a way to stop her. She's trying to claw Boise State back into the game, but the lead still sits at 14. Murphy, this time she'll just shoot over Muse. Nearly had it, in and out. And that's a foul on the floor. And when you look at this team, Hofschild, shoot, drive, pass. Williams a shooter. DeVos, 3-level scorer. The Rams can really do it all, and they are up 14. Lavelle's trying to bring the Broncos back, and we will be back right after the break. Second quarter action here at ExtraMile Arena, and the Broncos struggling from the floor early, but Lavelle's finding her stride.
She is driving it to the basket and getting close shots and fouls, which has caused the Broncos, which has helped the Broncos get back into this game.
Certainly a cause for concern for the Rams, but at the moment they're not sweating. They're up 14, make it 11 after a 3 from Martina Makalova.
That's the way you come out of a timeout. Come in, run the play, hit the shot, coach drew up. That's what you want, and Gordy, as you saw, was happy about that.
He'll be happy about the turnover, not the shot selection there from Mark as she gets swatted out of bounds from Clark. But the break did the Broncos well. And here is Lavelle. Giving it up. Makalova off a screen again. This time she's too strong, trying to use the glass. Hoffschild wants to try a three, and Clark fumbled the offensive rebound. Here's Lavelle stepping around, stepping in, and not scoring at the basket.
That was a nice stutter step by Jade right there to get the defender off their toes. Unfortunately, she just didn't connect.
And as she was walking back on defense, she had a little smirk on her face, almost as if she couldn't believe that she didn't get that basket to drop. Gill knocked to the floor, but Von Ahrens misses the shot. Always playing with fire when you're going to try to take a charge against Von Ahrens, because if you don't get the call, she's probably going to knock down the shot. Great defense from Mark, using that length and tipping the pass. So a tough time for the Rams, but that's going to be traveling. Could have been an offensive foul. There are a million things you could have called there on Alexis Mark, and none of them would have meant that the Broncos kept the basketball.
Yeah, Alexis really wanted to drive to the basket. However, as we'll see here, great steal by her. I like that she tried to push it to the basket. However, probably should have stopped jump shot.
Full arm extension push on DeVos as well. She's lucky she didn't pick up an offensive foul. Von Ahrens nearly lost the handle there. DeVos, no closeout, and that's not good enough.
She can do it from all over the floor. We've seen this series. Outside, inside.
Just cannot allow her to have a shot that open. Makalova wants it again and nearly gets the circus layup to fall. Just stepping through everyone. Here's DeVos, she'll step around Gill and she'll score again. We've heard that a couple times today.
We have, what a nice up and under, let the defender go by you for the easy basket.
The senior from Belgium making her mark here in this one, as Alexis Mark has her pass tipped out of bounds. And the Rams shooting 55% in this one.
And that's reflective in the score. You look to shoot 50% from the field, and shooting 55%, majority of the time you're probably going to be in the lead.
Abby Muse, nice turnaround jumper. Makes the score 41-27 with a minute to play here in the second.
1 minute remaining in the half.
Rams probably try for a 2-for-1 here. Bonnie, who's been quiet, misses her first shot of the game. She was 2 for 2 prior. Sykes sets her feet and clanks it off the rim.
Nice shot right there. However, as we've seen with the Broncos in this first half, not shooting a great percentage from the three-point line or the field goal.
31 on all attempts, 33 from deep is Hoffschild trying to line one up. Doesn't get it. Broncos can hold for the last shot of the game if they choose. They do not. Instead, they'll just take the 2 points, and Abby Muse will get them.
Abby Muse has come in and given a spark for this Bronco team.
Hoffschild, nice pass there. Von Ahrens off to the side. Lalott pulls it down, and we will head to halftime. The Broncos trying to keep it close, but the Rams too much at the moment. 41-29. We'll be back with halftime stats and highlights right after this on the Mountain West Network. Welcome back to ExtraMile Arena as it is halftime here, and the Broncos are trailing 41-29 as the Rams continue to prove why they're the top team in this conference, 11-2, 7-2 in conference play. And Heather, the Broncos simply have no answer for this field goal percentage.
They do not, or they have not brought it this first half of this game. As you can see, the stats on both sides, the Colorado State Rams, have shot great from the field and from the three-point line, as you see there, with the Broncos not shooting great from the field goal line, or the field goal, as I can't talk today, it sounds like, but shooting somewhat okay from the three-point line.
And it's kind of interesting because after Wednesday's loss, Coach Presnell gave quite a lot of quotes to the media, which is something he doesn't usually do. One of them was that he said, we have to be able to come off a ball screen and hit a shot from the elbow. We're a D1 basketball team and D1 basketball players. I know we're freshmen, but when you get insecure, the rim shrinks on you. And it certainly seems to be the case over these past 2 games against Colorado State. That is exactly what is happening. The players are insecure about their shot, and the rim just shrinks on them.
It is, and we are getting great shots. We are getting open shots, and we are just not hitting anything to fall. And as we talked about last game, it's all mental. You've done it for years. That's why you're here playing basketball at the D1 level. And that's what's happening to this freshman team as they've gotten great looks, just not gotten anything to fall.
And Colorado State looking for their first sweep over Boise State since the 2016 season. At the moment, they are top in the conference, as we have mentioned. And we said it on Wednesday. They own the tiebreaker over Fresno State. They currently own the tiebreaker over Boise State, who has fallen quite far in the standings thanks to this rough stretch of games. But Colorado State is an absolute matchup nightmare. McKenna Hochschild, one of the best point guards, if not the best point guard in the league at the moment, fighting with the Cavender twins. Tori Williams rivaling Maddie Udi, who was the preseason player of the year at Fresno State, as that do-it-all combo shooting guard. But then the post play, Laura DeVos with 11 points on 5 of 5 shooting. Carly Murphy's been getting it done. There's no team in the league that can match up with this size, this creativity, this talent, this vision that Colorado State has at the moment.
Colorado State can do it from anywhere on the floor. We've also talked about how they spread the wealth at any time, at any game. They have players, almost 5 players in double figures, which is unheard of, which is why Colorado State is leading the conference right now, is they can do it from the 3, they can do it from the post, and we've seen that today.
A team that we haven't talked about much, though, I will say I haven't given them enough credit, New Mexico. As you can see, second in the conference. They've only played 7 games. They are well behind thanks to those county regulations down in Albuquerque. They were forced to relocate out of Albuquerque to try to get their practice started. Then they had to delay the season because they didn't have enough time to practice. But 6-1, 3-1 in the conference. And Colorado State hasn't played them yet. So that'll be the last big test for the Rams. The Broncos also haven't played them, and they will play them in New Mexico, which is really in Utah. They've been playing in St. George, Utah. But that's a team that might shock some people as well, just like the Rams have, who were picked to finish 8th in the conference.
Yes, exactly. New Mexico has had lots of different challenges with COVID, as many other teams have, but that is why they haven't played very many games. Boise State, as we know, played Fresno State last week, Colorado State this week, which are really good rivals and really great teams, which the Broncos have not come out on top with those. However, the Broncos do play other teams later this season, which we hope that they can turn this around.
Yeah, the Broncos next series will be at Nevada, who you can see 3-5. Then they will go on the road at UNLV, at Utah State. UNLV sitting right above them in the conference. And Utah State has a couple of conference wins this season. They've predominantly been the bottom feeder, but they came in last year and beat the Broncos right here on this very floor. The only loss the Broncos had at home at that point when they hit a buzzer beater with just 1 second on the clock. We will be back. 41-29. More halftime highlights coming your way after the break. Welcome back to Extra Mile Arena. Colorado State on top of Boise State yet again at halftime, this time by a score of 41-29. The Broncos doing better in the second quarter than they did yesterday, and a lot of it just coming from the fact that shots are falling a little bit today.
They're falling a little bit more today than they were the other day. We're still getting great looks, as you can see here, with the Broncos hitting that one.
Yeah, the Broncos getting to the basket, getting open shots. They're just not getting as many open shots to fall as Colorado State. The Rams shooting 50% from the floor in that first half, and that is why they have a double-digit lead. Also shooting 40% from 3, even without their best shooter, Tori Williams, really doing much. She's just 1 of 4.
She is, but the Rams, as we talked about earlier, are doing it from all other aspects of the floor, which has put them at the top of this game. As Jade right there, we talked about her taking it to the basket and drawing the foul, and she has done it a couple times, and when they haven't fouled her, she's actually scored.
And at the end of the quarter, it was really Makalova and Abby Muse getting the spark. Makalova went in, scored a bucket, knocked down a 3. Abby Muse had some big offensive rebounds. This is the Makalova 3 I was talking about. But Muse, with those big offensive rebounds, she really kept the game close, kind of, and knocked down the turnaround jumper as well.
Abby, being a freshman, is going to grow, and she's going to be great. She's got that long wide arm span that she can get buckets, she can get points, and she can get blocks.
Problem is for the Broncos on the other end, Colorado State was knocking down almost everything. In fact, most of the team is shooting above 45% from the floor. Bonnie, Bonairens, Clark, and then Laura DeVos, 5 of 6 from the floor in that first half, leading all scorers with 11.
She has done it today. She has drove, she has hit, she is, as you see here, she has run the floor to get easy buckets, and she has brought it to play today.
And a lot of that coming from the defense to offense for Colorado State. They were second in the league coming in to this game in scoring defense, and they are continuing to stifle the Broncos. We will be back in just a few minutes with the second half, and we will have it right here on the Mountain West Network. Welcome back to Extra Mile Arena. By the way, some news out of Fresno, or rather out of Amarillo, Texas. The Lobos knocking off the Bulldogs yesterday, 82-80. We didn't have that in our graphic, so apologies for that. But New Mexico taking down the Dogs yet again. So when they play Colorado State, that will be a matchup. Boise State had some bright spots in the first half, mostly the names Jade Lavelle and Abby Muse.
They have done it this game for the Broncos when the Broncos haven't had much to get done with. They have brought it. Jade has taken it to the basket. Abby came in, gave a spark to the Broncos, and hit a couple baskets.
Yeah, Abby Muse, you could really say, saved the game for Boise State when they were down by 16. She had back-to-back offensive boards that led to 4 points for the Broncos and kept this game from getting completely out of hand. And now it'll be Bronco ball as they trail and try to cut the deficit to 10 on this possession. Mark all alone because they triple team McGuire, begging Mark to shoot it, and she will not oblige. Merrill put up a floater, and it's an air ball that goes out of bounds.
Colorado State doing a great job on that possession, knowing their personnel, sagging off, trying to get the people they don't want to drive, and to shoot it.
And when you look at this Boise State team all season long, they've really had 2 win conditions. 3 win conditions, I guess you could say. Abby Muse with a big block there. That'll lead to Bronco transition. And Mark will score at the basket. That is one of the win conditions the Broncos have had. Defense to offense, scoring on the fast break. And then the other 2 are either Jade Lavelle having a big game or Mallory McGuire popping off.
We saw a lot of the transition game early in the season when the Broncos were getting together. And now that we're playing competition that's more equal to us, the Broncos, as you know, are having a little bit of struggle, and Jade and Mallory going off in regards to leading the Broncos to victory.
And it makes you wonder how much the Broncos missed playing that game against BYU on the road. It's always a tough test. It was going to be their best non-con of the season, and it was canceled due to COVID as Narrow forces a steal and blows the layup. Just can't have that happen when you're down double digits. And Mark gets calling for a jump ball there with Hoffchild, I think the one to tie her up.
Nice energy by the Broncos to come out for the second half. That one almost was in. And then, not sure I agree with that call. I would have called it a foul. Jump ball, Colorado State.
Hoffchild did not have possession for long, if at all, as here she is trying to flip one up around Muse. Bonnie left alone though as the Broncos crash the glass. Lavelle trying to get in. Williams stops her again, and Tori Williams has been a pest on the defensive end for Jade Lavelle.
Something we've seen different this game than we did last game is the foul calls. We've had a lot of ticky-tack fouls, in my opinion, last game. And this game, the refs are letting both teams play.
They indeed are. We have a completely different crew for this game as well. And that can really make all the difference. Just certain ref preferences. As this time we have a foul on the drive by Muse. And it'll be on Callie Clark.
On the Rams. And Osley is in lineup for Boise State.
Didn't look like too much contact, but a foul regardless. As Anna Osley checks in for the Broncos, trying to give them some deep shooting. Broncos have it out of bounds yet again. This time narrow, inbounds to McGuire, who knocks down the 18-footer.
Those are shots Mallory will take, and Mallory will hit every time, especially when her defender is not even close to her height that she can shoot over.
DeVos hustle play there, getting her own rebound. Now Hoffschild trying to create. McGuire caught sleeping, but Clark blows the layup.
It's a nice look right there by Hoffschild. That shows you why she is third in the nation with her assists.
The best assist to turnover ratio in the nation. Osley jacks one up, doesn't go. Rebound for the 2017 Idaho Gatorade Player of the Year in Tori Williams. And then a turnover. The Broncos much better defensively to start the third. Hoffschild goes down, but no call. Narrow still kind of in awe as Osley tries to create her own three ball, and she does. And Coach Presnell loves it. He is excited.
Coach Presnell is happy about that one. We have missed the three-point shooting that we have seen in the last couple seasons with Riley Lufer and Brady Hodgins that Anna Osley is here to replace.
And she's got some big shoes to fill when you mention the name Riley Lufer, the all-time three-point leader in Bronco history. With over 330 career three-pointers made. Not even Justinian Jessup, who holds the men's Mountain West record, could touch Riley Lufer. And she's the all-time three-point leader in Mountain West Conference history. Of course, a lot of that came from her fantastic sophomore 16-17 season when she hit 122 threes, a Mountain West single-season record that still stands to this very day. Tori Williams was trying to bear down on it as well, but these two games against Boise State are certainly not going to help her, and Hoffschild again will get to the basket and again get an and one.
Nice drive right there by Hoffschild. Can't find the assist as a point guard. Put your head down, drive it to the basket, and she connects with the foul.
The one thing the Broncos are managing to do against Hoffschild is to get her to turn the ball over. 4 turnovers for her, one of the highest numbers she's had all season. But she does have 10 points and 5 assists after that free throw goes.
And that's kudos to this Boise State defensive team, as we've talked about. Second in the conference with the defense. So we've got to give some credit there, even though they aren't getting it done on the offensive side.
They're keeping it close, however. It's a 10-point game, which at the moment feels light years closer than what it was in the first quarter. As Lavelle nearly gets tied up by Williams, but this time Lavelle gets the better of Williams.
That's what you need to see from Jade. She didn't give up. She kept looking. She kept trying to find the open player and ended up actually getting an easy basket.
DeVos wants a 3. Oh, that's a 2. Excuse me, foot was on the line, but still DeVos showing that she has deep range.
Had she not tried to pump fake and put her foot back, her foot was on the line. Nice shot by DeVos.
Jade Lavelle starting to feel it. 13 points now for her. All of a sudden, it's a 9-point game. As here's Alper, and she draws a foul. So Bengasu Alper will head to the line, 49-40 with 4:56 to play here in quarter number 3. We will take a break, and the Broncos will continue to try to shoot it. We are back, and Bengasu Alper taking 2 shots at the free throw line here. A redshirt sophomore who played at the University of Maine 2 seasons ago before sitting out last season by way of Istanbul, Turkey. And she played 35 games for the Turkish national team and also was the U16 national championship scoring leader when she played for Fenerbahce. And if you follow international soccer at all, Fenerbahce will be a very familiar name to you over the past couple of weeks, as they have been at the forefront of the Mesut Ozil transfer saga. And if you don't follow international soccer, you don't know anything about what I just said, and you care about the basketball, which has the Rams leading by 10 points. And another blocking foul against Boise State. And this time it's Rachel Bowers. Tori Williams heads to the bench for Colorado State. They'll have the ball under their own basket. Hoffschild trying to get it away, and they're going to call her for a travel. So it'll be Bronco ball. They trail by 10, 4:27 to play here in quarter number 3. Trying to avoid their first 4-game losing streak since 2015-16, and McGuire can't get it to drop. Too much muscle.
The Broncos are really trying to find somebody to bring that spark to get them back into this game.
Osley has it, McGuire has it, and Bonairens gets down and tangles up, but it'll be Bronco ball. A wicked fight for that one.
Nice hustle by both teams.
Lavelle, a lot of space. Good closeout by Bonairens there. Getting a hand in the face. And a nice bounce pass from Hoffschild, and an alley-oop pass there from Bonairens. Didn't find anything but the rim. And Ryan Williams is not happy about it. Narrow looking for Bowers. It was never going to work. It's back-to-back turnovers. DeVos, handoff to Murphy, but Murphy couldn't control it. Some tough basketball on both ends of the floor at the moment.
It is. Both teams are trying to find their way on who can get the first basket here.
Bonairens goes up, met by Osley, and last touched by Anna Osley of the Broncos. We got 4 new players on the court, 2 aside. But one constant is Laura DeVos taking shots. This time she doesn't get it. Osley to Bowers. They're trying to keep going inside to Bowers, but Callie Clark and Murphy have both been on top of it.
They have definitely some good post play today. They're really trying to get Rachel into this game. Nice basket there, and an assist by Mallory to find that easy basket.
And that's exactly what Mallory McGuire has to do to be effective in this game. She's just not going to get the shots that she wants. So she has to be heads up, looking for the open teammate, pass first.
Because when she has 2 people on her, somebody is going to be open.
And a lot of times this game, she's had 3, as the Rams have committed to neutralizing her impact in the offense. And instantly, DeVos closes out, and we've got a foul against Callie Clark.
Definitely some post play going on down there. Callie Clark did just a little too much. Hands on here. A little bit of a push. Foul on the other end.
DeVos grabs the Bronco miss. And certainly, Heather, the post play has eased up as DeVos is left wide open. Bowers hit the floor. A weird communication breakdown for the Broncos. But back when you were a Boise State Bronco, certainly you could get away with a lot more down low, especially with putting your hands on someone.
The rules change, and they change often. As back in the day, as we talked about, we would, Coach Sower over there, continuing to coach when I was playing, we would get the football pads out to do the drills, and I don't know what it is with basketball changing, but definitely they are making it where not as handsy is what I would call it. Not as much touch without getting the foul called.
Certainly. And no slight either on either way that the game is played, just simply recognizing the differences as well as the game evolves. Specifically, if you want to talk about the game evolving, the three ball becoming such a major factor here over the last 5 or so years as Reagan Reed dials one up, but called the wrong number there from deep. .120 to play, 11-point game. Broncos just can't cut into the lead. And again, we have a foul on the floor, this time on Osley, trying to stop the drive.
Tori Williams looking to break down Osley to get to the basket. And as you see, she picked up the foul and she's at the stripe for 2.
Foul was on the floor, but the Broncos have committed 5 fouls, so Rams are in the bonus. Williams will shoot 2. And there's so much to be said about Tori Williams. Great player from right here in Boise. 4-year letterer at Centennial High School. Also played with Lauren Brocky, who's a member of the Rams, and more than likely recruited Williams to come to CSU, transferring out of Utah after her freshman season. Williams did it all a season ago for the Rams as well. Leading scorer, rebounder, stealer, assister, and led the Rams in minutes per game last season. Did Williams, an absolute do-it-all package.
An offensive foul on the other end. Called on Elodie. It looks like she might have pushed her knee out there that caught Hofschild, caused the turnover.
Here's Hofschild going in again, and Lalott just can't get there in time. McKenna Hofschild continues to get into the paint and score.
She is all over the place, and with her little stature, you wouldn't think that would happen, but she is one that can do it all.
Hofschild is certainly a player that you can tell plays with a chip on her shoulder. It's very obvious from how she plays basketball that she's been discounted more than once in her basketball career for her height. And she is here this season to prove everyone wrong. And at the moment is trying to make her way onto the All Mountain West team as Williams clanks one off the front of the rim. Ugly shooting day for Williams continues. 1 of 6 from the floor, 1 of 5 in total. And the Rams want to waste some of this clock. 10-second difference between game and shot clock here. DeVos, no coverage. But luckily for Boise State, she can't knock down the open 3. Broncos gotta go fast, and they turn it over. Hofschild will just lay on the ground and wait for the buzzer. So the Broncos struggle in the quarter. 57-42 is our score as we head to the 4th. We're here for the 4th quarter. The Broncos are trailing by 15, and a lot of that is thanks to the play of McKenna Hofschild. 12 points, 5 assists in 27 minutes on the floor.
She has done it on both ends of the floor, leading this Rams team to continue this series at the top.
The sweep here for the Rams would be astronomical in their tour to win the Mountain West. And Carla Murphy will extend the lead. Second chance points, yes please, she says.
Murphy has had a game tonight, both on the offensive end, on the defensive end. She has done it, and she has brought it just like DeVos.
Yeah, 8 points and 6 rebounds for her in just 10 minutes on the floor. So a fantastic game as Gill tips the pass out of bounds. Coach Bresnell has been running all sorts of different lineups out in this series, and here is one that hasn't seen much time. Makalova, Gill, Reed, Sykes, and McGuire.
Coach Bresnell is looking for anybody to give this Boise State team a spark.
Makalova on Murphy is not the matchup the Broncos are looking for, but Makalova, no stranger to putting her body on the line, draws the charge.
It's a great defensive play by Makalova there to get the momentum swing for the Broncos.
That's her 6th charge she's drawn this season. She continues to lay out and get calls. Sykes, short and left on the air ball.
Open shot there. Again, goes back to the shooting woes of the Broncos.
Broncos have been spoiled the past many seasons as DeVos can't get it. Riley Lupfer, Brady Hodgins, Marta Ermida, Joyce Harrell. A million names you could throw out there as Christina Gill knocks down the 3. Ashanti Coleman. And this team, all freshmen, trying to find their way. But you have to wonder, will the shooting ever be as good as it has been over the past couple of seasons? And that is the answer, will probably be no.
Great team that graduated, of course, that's led this Bronco tradition. Are always going to be missed and will always be a spot in the record books for the Broncos. I'm excited to see this young Bronco team, what we're like in a year, 2 years, when this team has been able to play with each other. And that's what made the team that graduated recently so good, is because they had played together for so long that it just was easy.
And the biggest difference for that team compared to this team, too, was in that 2016 season, they had some upperclassmen leadership in numbers. This team just simply doesn't have that. Just the 3 upperclassmen in McGuire, Lavelle, and in Bowers, as Williams misses yet another 3, but Murphy gets the O board. The 2016 team, yes, had a lot of good players. Are they more talented than this team? Jury will still be out on that one for certain, but what they did have was leadership and experience that first season, taking them to the regular season championship and the Mountain West championship. They weren't asked to do nearly as much as these 10 freshmen are being asked to do, as Sykes draws the foul.
Chemistry is huge. Chemistry is so big, and you see that with the great teams as they play together, they bonded together, they know how each other works. And let's be honest, being a freshman right now during the COVID season is hard. Don't hang out, don't sit close. There's so much stuff, let alone not on the basketball floor, but off the court, that this team, as you said, it just causes a lot for them to connect, which, for what it is, welcome to COVID basketball during 2021 season.
And a lot of credit given to Ryan Williams, as you see on your screen there. 2-time Mountain West Coach of the Year, 2014-2016. The preseason projections, the expectations were that the Rams would be a Tier 3 team in this conference, bringing up the bottom. And the players and Coach Williams strongly disagreed. And they have absolutely given it to the Broncos in 2 games on the road.
Broncos are a hard team, as we talked about. Had a winning streak going until the last game. They're hard to beat at home. And one, it's hard to win on the road, period. So for Colorado State to come in to Boise State, to take both of these games to then lead the conference, it's a huge win for Colorado State, and something hopefully Boise State can learn from.
Makalova with a massive grab there on Hofschild that sent her spinning to the floor. And really, Colorado State's probably a bit upset that Fresno State lost to New Mexico. As Hofschild continues to try to get to the bucket. That time it doesn't drop. Because, as we mentioned, they split with Colorado State split with Fresno State in Fresno. So they would love for Fresno State to pick up a win tomorrow when they play New Mexico in Texas, because that would put New Mexico at 6-2 on the season, and that's Travelin Hofschild, who got her foot kicked and tripped.
And New Mexico being one of those teams not many have seen this season, with them not being able to play as many games as we've talked about. So they are a team that many are unsure what kind of team they're going to end up being through the rest of the season.
Fresno State and New Mexico will meet at noon Central Time tomorrow, so 11 a.m. Mountain if you're interested in that. Of course, the Rams and the Broncos will meet on the hardwood tonight in men's basketball, and the Broncos had their 13-game winning streak snapped by the Rams in a blowout victory. So they'll also be looking for revenge and trying to avenge the women's loss that more than likely is coming today, as we've got 5:50 left to play. And the Rams are up by 15 yet again. Williams will step inside the line. Shot clock expiring. Doesn't matter as she knocks it down.
It's a pretty shot by Tori Williams. And that's why she's one of the leaders, as we talked about. And she's shown at the three-point line with that little step inside the line to hit.
Here's Bonnie, who's been superbly quiet this game, but proves that she can still score as she creates her own shot off the dribble and knocks it down. 67-48. Rams putting a beat down on the Broncos for the second time in 2 days.
Correction, timeout, Colorado State.
Welcome back. Bronco basketball here in the fourth quarter, and Boise State in danger of falling to 5-5 in conference play and becoming a middle-of-the-pack team, which is something we haven't said about the Broncos in nearly 5 years, but it is the reality that they are facing, trailing big time to the Rams here at home. Osley rattles home a three, and that'll cut the deficit to 16.
Those are the shots we're going to see during Osley's career. It's a great shot there and bucket as they came out of that timeout.
Williams going in, and her cold day continues, but Callie Clark, an absolute monster on the glass, fighting for that rebound and chasing it all the way out of bounds. Well, not much has changed, but we'll take another break. 67-51, Osley hitting the three. Welcome back to the final frame here in Boise, and the conference-leading Colorado State Rams, make no mistake about it, showing why they are at the peak of the Mountain West. They're looking for the two-game sweep over the Broncos. First time they would accomplish that since 2016. They snapped a 7-game losing streak to Boise State on Wednesday. In fact, it was the first time the Rams have won in Boise in 3 years. Well, rather 4 years, actually. They haven't won here since 2017 until Wednesday. This place has been a fortress for the latter half of the decade. But in 2021, the Rams coming in and knocking down the walls.
As we talked earlier, we got two different teams, 4 years, 5 years apart. Broncos, as many would say, maybe you're in a rebuilding year. I would just say we're freshmen, we're young, we're not rebuilding. It just happens to be the way that this recruiting and players have kind of, transitioned through the years. I'm excited to see what the Broncos have coming up, though.
Nice move by Makalova, and she's whistled for a travel. The Bronco bench was the most excited they've been all series for the bucket, and they were irate on the call. We'll take another look.
I don't know if I agree with that call. Nice drive to the basket by Makalova.
Pretty massive hop step there.
I mean, it looked pretty.
It certainly looked good. Does the rule book agree? That is the question. And according to our baseline referee, the answer was no, as Bon Aaron scores another bucket. 51-69, under 4 to play. As Osley continues to jack up threes, and Makalova continues to be aggressive.
Long shots, long rebounds. Broncos need to be prepared for when Osley shoots those and potentially could miss those long boards. That's a nice hustle there by Makalova to try to get the ball back in their possession.
Did end up getting whistled for the foul. And Hofschild again stepping into the paint. What a find. Bonnie fouled on the backside by Mark. And it just continues. 20 points is the lead for Colorado State. The second time in the series they'll go up by 20.
Colorado State is known for those backdoor backslash cuts, especially when Hofschild drives to the floor. People are gonna come to her, and she's gonna find the open player to make that easy basket.
Well, it's been a series to forget for Boise State, and it just continues getting worse as Bonnie a chance for a three-point play. And she has been off today. Murphy gets the offensive rebound. There is almost nothing good to take away from this two-game series if you're the Broncos.
The Broncos need to do a better job, and it's going to take some time, about coming to play the first game and then continuing with that on the second game. Having a bunch of freshmen, of course, we're looking for that leadership. Jade and Mallory, some of your senior leaders. Having a hard time this series to bring that for the Broncos.
Bonnie just getting to the basket at will. And her and Callie Clark may be the phenomenal freshman pair in the conference this season.
They have definitely brought it today.
We saw the Cavender twins a season ago. Everyone knows who they are. They were the best players in the conference for a good stretch. And they were certainly the best freshmen of the year last season. And now it's Bonnie and Clark's turn to set the Mountain West ablaze. And again, as I mentioned earlier, it's one of those things where nobody on Colorado State is asking Bonnie to be the player. She can be the player thanks to the team around her, just as it was a season ago for the Cavender twins. No one was asking them to come out and be the star. One of these Bronco freshmen has to be a star every night, with McGuire and Lavelle being in trouble, and Makalova has been the star of this one. She continues on the offensive end to find a way to the basket.
She is, and that Bronco bench, as you'll see here as she takes it to the basket. Most energy, as we've talked about, the most energy we've seen this season, or this series with Colorado State.
Really, you could, I know you walked back your season remark, but we haven't seen much energy from the Bronco bench in conference. The non-conference games, when it was easy, we saw them up, laughing, joking about. But in conference, it's been a massive departure. And you talk about being better in game ones. As I mentioned, Broncos normally score 23 more points in game two than they do in game one so far this season.
And it makes it really hard with the way the conference is scheduled. You play the same team 2 times. Unfortunately, I feel like the Broncos are maybe having a preseason and then a real game with the way they played these last couple games with Fresno State and now Colorado State. And that's just going to take some grit on their end to say we've got to show up and play for both.
And Boise State really, in the grand scheme of things, their preseason was just no comparison to this conference. 2 games against C of I, well actually 1 game against C of I canceled. 1 game against C of I, a game against BYU canceled. They never played any top-tier competition, say like they did a season ago when they traveled all the way to Louisville and played in the preseason WNIT.
And Boise State had a bunch of people on the preseason schedule. However, as we've talked about during this broadcast, COVID's caused a lot of headache and a lot of changes, and that was one of the things that was probably not great for this Bronco team to be able to gel and get to know each other in the preseason.
I'm sure Coach Fresno and the rest of his team would have much rather have played that tougher non-conference schedule, gone, 1-5, 2-4, something around those lines, had a losing record in the non-conference, but been more prepared to play great teams like Fresno State in Fresno, like Colorado State. like New Mexico State, who they will not play this year, rather New Mexico. New Mexico State, completely different team, not in the conference, so excuse me.
But one thing we do know about the Boise State basketball team, they bring it at the end of the season. We've seen that seasons in and seasons out, that they come prepared for the end of the season, the conference tournament. And I'm hopeful for this team, although we didn't get that preseason schedule that we wanted, that they can come prepared for that last little bit of the conference play.
And with that miss there from Alper, the Broncos can dribble out the clock. We'll see if they do it. Osley's left alone, so she will jack up a shot. She will miss it. The rebound will go to the Rams, and that will do it. So the Broncos, again, blown out in their own gym, this time by 22. And make no mistake about it, Colorado State, number 1 in the conference, the best team in the conference. They hold the tiebreaker they need to hold over Fresno State. They will head to New Mexico or Texas or Utah or wherever they need to go to play New Mexico. And those 2 games will more than likely be what makes up this conference, as New Mexico is sitting pretty at 6-1. Boise State falls to 8-6, 5-5 in the conference with the loss. And Heather, well, what do you take away from this series?
You've got to, with the freshmen, they've got to learn something. They've got to learn that they've got to come prepared. They've learned that, to me, it's a mental game with them. They know what they've done. They've done it for years. We've said it before. They've got the mental preparedness for them. I know Coach Presnell. I played for Coach Presnell. He's got him prepared. Coaches can only do so much, and it's got to be on the players.
It's got to be on the players. You mentioned the mental. The physical's got to be there as well, too. They have to start hitting their shots. As Coach Presnell said, we're a Division I basketball team. We're Division I basketball players. You can't shoot 32% and expect to win a game when the opposition shoots 43% like Colorado State did today.
Yeah, the Broncos have seen it, not only this series, but the series with Fresno State. Not great shooting. So if I'm one of the basketball players, I'm getting into the gym. I'm trying to get shots up and get ready for the next series that we play on the road.
Yep, the Broncos will be at home again next week. They'll take on Nevada, but then they will have 2 weeks on the road. And this stretch will be the interesting stretch. They have to try to find a way to stay pumped up after 4 demoralizing losses in a row. Next Friday, me and you, Heather, will both be back against Nevada. Thank you so much for tuning in. For Heather Berry, I'm Leonard Berry. For the rest of our crew here at Boise State University, saying thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next Friday.